Peace fam, it's your girl Kia, aka the Concrete Rose, and I'm back with another video. And as you guys can tell by the title, today I'm going to be talking all about the raven, the symbolism of the raven, and certain messages that the raven could be coming in to give to you. As always, like I always say, I'm specifically talking about my own personal experiences with the raven, the specific lessons that the raven has taught me, the specific messages that the raven has given me, and I'm just sharing it and passing it along because maybe it may resonate with somebody or maybe it won't. I just am simply sharing the knowledge, sharing the wisdom that I have been given. So yeah, let's just get right into it. It's the morning time, y'all. I'm in Ohio and it's getting cold as outside. Okay, so I want to hurry up and get this over with so that way I can go back in and get into some heat. All right, so first and foremost, I'm just gonna give a backstory of when the raven came into my life. So the raven came into my life when I was in the midst of chaos, when I was in the midst of a dark night of the soul, when I was in the midst of the bullshit. I like to say that my dark night of the soul really started for me at the end of 2018, like November, December of 2018, and 2019 was like the full-blown year that shit just started like crumbling for me. 2019 was the year that I completely dropped out of college, and at that point I knew nothing. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing. I had based my whole entire future, my whole entire life around going to college, graduating, and being in that career field, which is kind of funny because when I first went to college, I started out as a fashion major, right? And then partly through like the first semester of my freshman year, I started feeling doubt around my journey, around my path. And so I switched to criminal justice because I love psychology, I love the way the mind works. And so I was telling myself that I really wanted to get into forensic psychology, which is like, y'all, literally like, how do you go from a fashion major to a criminal justice major? Two completely different things. And that just goes to show that I knew nothing about myself. Okay, like I still love psychology, I still love the idea of forensic psychology, but the total switch and the fact that I was so easily swayed, because I would look around and I'm like, there's no way I can actually be successful in fashion. Like, there's no way that I can actually do this. And that just goes to show that I really wasn't passionate about it. I wasn't passionate about anything, because like, if you're passionate about something, you're going to keep doing it, right? No matter what. But yeah, so my dark night of the soul really started in 2018, 2019. But at the time that I was going through my dark night of the soul, you guys, I did not know that that was a dark night of the soul. I did not have the vocabulary or the knowledge or the understanding to, explain to people or to myself or to because at the time, I don't think I was in therapy, because I didn't start therapy until like I got back home. But that therapist didn't last very long. But anyway, that's besides the point. So basically, the raven, so I was going through my dark night of the soul, right? Came back home in 2019. I was living in Memphis, and then I came back home in 2019, back to Ohio. And at this point in time, I was really trying to figure out myself. I was just working dead end jobs, jumping from job to job to job, whatever. 2020, I became pregnant, and I feel like my pregnancy really like opened me up spiritually, or like did something to me spiritually, because 2020, after I had my baby, even while I was pregnant, I think that's when I started thinking about like entrepreneurship, and I started considering like, okay, maybe I want to be a nail tech, maybe I want to work like for myself, maybe I want to have my own business, things like this. Like, this is what my mind was going through. And if you know anything about the dark night of the soul, and you guys, I'm sorry if y'all hear like wind and everything. Obviously, I'm outside. It's the fall time, and so yeah. But But yeah, so I really started to consider entrepreneurship. I really started to think for myself. And if you know anything about the dark night of the soul, you know, like, the dark night of the soul starts to occur when you literally start looking at your life like, who the fuck life am I living? Like, what is this? You start just detaching from everything that you thought you knew, everything that you thought defined you. You know, you start reconsidering, like, is this really what I want to do? Is this really the path that I want to go down? And because you don't know, because you're so confused, because it's just like this whirlwind of like, damn, everything that I thought I knew, I don't think I know anymore, you fall into a depression, and you fall into sadness, and you fall into this like chaotic energy of not knowing yourself, of not recognizing your surroundings, of not recognizing, you know, how the hell did I get here, you know, and you're just filled with like a bunch of different emotions, right? So, you know, fast forward 2020, had my baby or whatever. And yeah, like, I just went through this whole period of like, okay, now I'm a mom. And, you know, I started to recognize that I'm really fucking traumatized. Like, I was showing up as a traumatized child in my parenting. And I've actually talked about this in my I think it's called like Mothering While Healing or something like that video. So definitely check that out if you guys have time. But yeah, like, I just was in this energy of like, I need to heal. Like, I don't recognize myself anymore. I don't know who I am anymore, you know. And I was just really confused about my life and about my path and about what I was going through. I felt like I was disconnected from myself and from reality. And I don't know, like, I was just hella like lost, you know. And so the Raven really came in during this period, during this time for me, when again I was lost as hell, and I was literally in the midst of the chaos. I was in the midst of the storm, okay, in the midst of going through the dark night of the soul. And that's when the Raven flew in. Okay, so that is the backstory of how I started to connect with the Raven. Now, because of colonized thinking, because I want to address this, because of colonized thinking, we associate the color black with something evil or with something negative or with something bad. You know, we automatically think death, you know, someone's gonna die or whatever. And let me just say that everyone has different symbols for, you know, different things, or, you know, whatever. I'm just here to talk about my own personal experience. And so when the Raven flew in for me, it wasn't a physical death that I was experiencing. It was a spiritual death that I was experiencing. I was literally in the midst of a spiritual death. Even though I did not have the vocabulary to explain that that's what I was going through, that's what I was going through. I was going through a spiritual death. The old version of me was dying, and the new version of me was coming to the surface. And the thing about this spiritual journey is that we're always going through deaths and rebirths, you know, and transformation and awakening to a new part of ourselves, you know. So yeah, like, it was a spiritual death that I was going through. And I will be honest, you guys, like, when the Raven would show up for me at first, I would be really nervous. Like, I would be like, why is this black bird following me? Like, what is going on, y'all? Like, I would go to different places, you know, in the city or whatever, just traveling, running errands or whatever, and a Raven would be there right in the parking lot. I remember there were times that the Raven would be right next to my car. When I would get out my car, it would be right there. You know, Ravens would come in groups of like 2s and 3s and 4s, and it would just be like, oh my gosh, like, what the hell is going on? And again, because of colonized thinking, I associated the color black with something negative, you guys. But the Raven really comes in to tell you to explore this, explore the shadow sides of yourself, explore the subconscious parts of yourself, explore that programming that has been forced onto you, honestly. Like, you know, a lot of us, okay, I'll tell you something. Growing up, when I was younger, when people would ask me my favorite color, I would say the color black. Literally, that was my favorite color. I'm talking about when I was in like kindergarten, first grade, second grade. I think maybe even up until like third grade. My favorite color was the color black. I absolutely was in love with this color, right? And whenever people would ask me, like, oh, what's your favorite color? And I would tell them black, they would be like, oh, well, either I had to listen to the speech of, oh, black is not really a color, or they would be like, what, black is bad, like why do you like black? I remember when I was like in middle school, right? And I went through like my emo phase, right? And I was really obsessed with black. I was really obsessed with like black lipstick and black clothing and things like that. And my family literally thought I was like diving off until the deep end. Okay? Like, yeah. So, black, there's this association with something negative, but honestly, when this raven has came into my life, it's been nothing but positivity. Okay? For me personally, that's how the raven first started showing up for me. When I was going through a spiritual death, when I was going through a transformation in my life, and also when I was awakening to my spiritual abilities. Okay, I'll tell you guys another story. When I was in Memphis, I was a pizza delivery driver, okay, and I would work at very, very late hours of the night. I used to work for Domino's, okay, and I remember there was this one time when I was driving, and you guys, literally, I was driving like normal, delivering this pizza, and a whole entire spirit, a whole entire woman, literally walked across the street and laid right in the middle of the street. And at first, it like came so fast. It happened so fast. Like, I thought I ran her over, but my car didn't make any sounds. My car literally didn't do anything. And I looked back and there was nothing there. So, yes, like, I've had experiences like this, and the raven comes in to tell you to really work on your spiritual abilities, especially if you have the gift of mediumship, if you have the gift of clairvoyance, if you have the gift of claircognizance. This bird may be coming in to tell you to explore deeper and look deeper into those gifts. My spiritual gifts started showing up for me very early on. I've been open about how when I was a kid, I would have experiences, and my, dad would tell me how I would speak to spirits and things like that. That wasn't something that I was seeking. It was just an innate ability that I had within me. And at this time, when I was 19 years old, this shit started coming online, and it was like, because I didn't have the awareness for this, because I didn't know what the hell was going on, it freaked me out. Okay, so if the raven is coming in for you and you're seeing that, okay, I'm starting to get visions, or okay, my dreams are starting to become more intense, or maybe you are seeing spirits, maybe you are seeing figures out the corner of your eye, maybe you're seeing flashes of light, maybe you notice that when I walk into a room, I can feel an energy, I can feel a presence, even if you don't physically see anything with your physical eye. When you walk into a room, when you walk into a space, you can feel an energy, you can feel a presence, you can feel the difference in the room. That's waking you up to your abilities, and the raven comes in to tell you to explore these abilities, learn more about these abilities, maybe get a mentorship, maybe get a mentor, to where you can explore these abilities with them. Obviously someone who you trust, someone who has these abilities as well, so that way they can be kind of like master teachers for you and things of that nature. But yeah, and then also something that I feel like is really cool and symbolic for me when it comes to the raven is that these birds eat dead things. Okay, and the way that I see it is the ravens come in as ancestral protection, ancestral support, right? So, and mind you, a raven has never showed up like in my like yard or anything like that. I always see a raven when I'm traveling. I always see a raven when I'm running errands, when I'm going from one location to another location. And so what this symbolizes for me is that, one, the ancestors are watching over my path. They're watching over my steps in the morning. You know, I pray to God, I pray to the ancestors to watch over my steps. Okay, I anoint my feet, you know, with my own specific things that I anoint myself with. Okay, I anoint my feet. I ask, you know, the divine to watch over my steps and to protect me. Don't have me step in no bullshit. Okay, and so when I see ravens along my path and along my journey, as I'm running errands, as I'm going from this place to that place to this place to that place, you know, as I'm driving on the freeway and I see a raven flying above in the sky, I'm like, okay, the ancestors are present, baby. Okay, a force higher than me is guiding me and watching over me and making sure, again, that I don't step in no bullshit. Okay, also, again, they eat dead things, right? And so the way that I see it is, you know, I don't have to lift my finger to do anything. The ancestors see everything. The spirits see everything. God sees everything. And so if there is, you know, an obstacle, if there is a person that is, you know, directing negative energy towards me, my ancestors got it. You know, they handle it. You know, I don't have to worry about anything that's dead coming around me. I don't have to worry about anything that's not of love, light, truth, and wisdom coming around me. Okay, and if it does come around me, it's already handled. It's already taken care of. You know, as long as I do my protection work and as long as I stay true to my path, as long as I'm not hurting and harming nobody, as long as I'm staying on my rightful path that God has ordained for me, everything is well and everything is good. You know, everything is taken care of. Everything is already being worked out, you know. And when also another thing that when the raven comes in, I usually see this bird with other signs, other symbols, other synchronicities, right? And so something that sticks out for me is the number 33. The angel number 33 is very heavy around me whenever I see this bird. And for me personally, the angel number 33 represents ancestral wisdom, ancestral knowledge, ancient wisdom, ancient knowledge, occult knowledge, you know. And so you know, this is a bird that travels within the spiritual realm and the physical realm. And so this is a communicator bird. This is a messenger bird. And so a lot of times what you'll notice is your dreams will be very vivid. Your dreams will be very intense. You know, you'll walk out into the world and it's like you feel like you're getting messages. You know, you feel like people are, you know, giving you messages through certain things that they say. You know, you may have the feeling to hug a random tree, right? And then that night when you go to bed, you're receiving these vivid dreams and these very vivid messages, right? Very direct messages, you know. So yeah, you know, like this the raven comes in as a very heavy energy, but it's a very heavy energy in the sense that it's there to encourage you to keep going on your spiritual path. The raven recognizes and, you know, the raven validates you on the fact that shit might be dark, shit might be tough. You know, you may be going through a dark night of the soul. You may be going through some tough shit, through some difficult shit. You know, you may be in that energy of a spiritual death, you know, not really recognizing who you are, not really recognizing, you know, where you stand. You may be feeling lost. Your spiritual gifts may be coming on and you're just like, oh my gosh, what is this? What is happening? You know, and so the raven comes in to encourage you and to tell you that you will get through this. You will prosper through this, you know. Shit gets dark sometimes, you guys, along this path. Like, I hate when people try to paint this spiritual journey as something that is just complete love and light. You know, I hate when people try to paint this journey as something where, you know, you just awaken spiritually and you get all these crystals and, you know, things are just amazing. Like, no, you got to go through the darkness to be able to find your light, you know. And I know that that sounds terrifying, but it is the truth, because without the darkness, we wouldn't recognize the light. Without going through the storm, you wouldn't get the rainbow. You know, without the rain, the flowers wouldn't grow. You know, the grass wouldn't be nourished. You know, so you have to be able to look at your situation from a bird's eye view, which that reminds me of the hawk, which I think I'm gonna make my next video about the hawk. But whatever bird, the bird, whatever bird you're working with, right, it comes in to remind you to look at things from a higher perspective, right? And so if you see that you're going through through a dark time right now, really try to find the blessings in it, and I know that this can be harder, easier said than done, right? Because I will tell you, when this raven came into my life, you guys, I was struggling with a lot of dark thoughts. I was struggling with a lot of suicidal ideation. Trigger warning, okay? Trigger warning. I was struggling with a lot of suicidal ideation, okay? I was struggling with thoughts of self-harm. I was struggling with thoughts of like, am I a good mother? Am I worthy of being a mother? Am I worthy of being here on this planet? Like, am I worthy? I don't know myself. I don't know who I am. And now I have this other human being that I have to care for and that I have to raise. I'm already traumatized as fuck. I already don't know myself. And now I have to basically ensure that this child of mine does not get traumatized and that this child of mine knows who they are and is confident in who they are when I don't even have confidence within myself. Those are all the thoughts that I was going through during this time, and during this period of transformation, so the raven comes in to symbolize transformation, spiritual awakening, maybe the dark night of the soul, ancestral wisdom, ancestral knowledge, occult wisdom, ancient teachings, vivid dreams, communication from the other side, and I specifically work with my ancestors, but you may work with other deities, and so the raven could come in to represent other deities, for you. But yeah, guys, this is a really, really beautiful, beautiful bird. And and I do want to basically talk about how the raven is the big one, because I know a lot of people get confused between the raven and the crow. The crow is the smaller black bird, and then the raven is the bigger one. You really can't miss a raven. Like, you will see the raven. Okay, so yeah, guys, that was just my little 2 cents on the raven. I'm trying to think about if I missed anything, but I'm pretty sure I said everything that I needed to say. Obviously, take what resonates and leave the rest. If nothing resonates, it wasn't for you. But yeah, guys, that's just my own personal experiences with the raven and the certain lessons and things that the raven has come in to tell me and to teach me. This is a beautiful bird. Again, like, if you're looking at chakra activation, right, this is a really big bird for crown awakening, crown chakra awakening, third eye awakening. This is a bird to where you will elevate. The raven is coming in to ask you to elevate. The raven is, because in order to take the lessons from the darkness, you have to elevate to a certain frequency to recognize, oh my gosh, I had a booger in my nose. But yes, the raven comes in to kind of tell you to look at things from a higher perspective. You have to be able to look at things from a higher perspective when you are dealing with the darkness, right? Because you have to be able to see the light in the darkness. You have to be able to recognize how to transmute this energy and how to make it work for your benefit. Everything is always working for your benefit. The universe is always conspiring in our favors to make sure that we achieve our destiny and that we get to where we need to go. It's just, do you have the eyes and the ears to see and hear this elevation happening? So yeah, guys, I feel like I was kind of rambling, but I hope that you guys took some valuable information from this, and ways that I honor the raven. Like I said, the ravens don't come in my yard or anything like that, so I don't give like food offerings or anything to the raven. But again, I see the raven as I go throughout my day. You know, maybe when I pull up to a certain location, I may see the raven. And so how I give honor is I simply just give thanks. I give thanks to the spirit of the raven. I give thanks to my ancestors. I give thanks to God, you know, and I give thanks to the unseen forces around me that are working and that are protecting me along my journey. Okay, so yes, guys, I think that that's all I have to say. And yeah, I love you guys so much. Peace, and I will see y'all in my next video. And like I said, I think the next bird video I'm gonna do is the hawk. I'm kind of leaning towards the hawk, but I also could do the red cardinal, so you know, we'll see. But yeah, y'all, peace and blessings, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye.